Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Dev with Excel. Alright, so in this video we are going to be solving exercise 2.16. In the previous video we were able to solve exercise 2.15, which we have here. So exercise 2.15, we were expected to implement the code whereby we could use the HTTP put method for updating phone numbers of persons or of entries, right? So in today's video we are going to be solving exercise 2.16, and it says use the improved error message example from part 2 as a guide to show a notification that lasts for a few seconds after successful operation is executed. That's a person is added or a number is changed. Now if we look through this particular page, we are going to see that we have a lot of styling here, right? And code implementations also. So let's use what we've learned in this page here to solve exercise 2.16. All right, so let's head into the code implementation. So currently this is step 11, right? So that's the exercise 2.16, that's step 11. So I am going to load some files: names.jsx, name.js, app.jsx, main.jsx, and db.jsx. All right, so I'll minimize this part, and then we are currently running the front end and also the server, right? So that's why we have here, this is the front end, and then here we have the server also running fine. Okay, all right, so let's see the files that we need here. Main.jsx, okay, we don't need to edit this, so we can take it off. Names.jsx, I'm not sure we will be needing this. Okay, let's check names.jsx. Here we've already done the necessary implementation, so I don't think we need this part. Okay, so our concern is going to be here, right? So we want to work with success messages primarily, right? So if we are able to add a new name or a new number, it should reflect somewhere on this screen here, right? On this page, that this person has been successfully added. All right, so here what we need to do is, what we can do, let's create a state, and then let's call it success message. Then the function to handle it, we call it set success message. All right, so we set this to a use state of an empty string. We use the use state to set this to an empty string. All right, so having done this, the next thing we want to do is we want to create a kind of notification component. So we can just come to the top of this part here and say const notification, and then we are just trying to create a function for it, right? So we want this to return something. Let's use a div as a tag. So here this is going to accept a props, right? So let's call the props success message. All right, so that's it. And then we are expected to return the success message. All right, so having done this, we need to use this notification in the root components, right? So let's go down to the root component somewhere around here, right? So you can just come above this div here, and then let's paste the notification component here. All right, so having done this, The next thing we want to do is, because this notification component, it has success message as its props, so we are going to write success message and give it the value of success message also. All right, so where are we? Let's go back to the top of the code. Okay, so we've been able to implement this successfully. All right, we have success message here. We have, the next thing we need to do now is we want to implement this code such that when a new user is created, there's a pop-up here that says new user added, right? So we are going to come into this create function here, and then we use a set success message. So we say set success message, and then let's do something like this for now. Let's just say added. Let's see if this is going to work at this stage. Let's refresh this, and then let's try to add a name. Let's call this name John, and then let's say 1 2 3. Let's click on add. So here we can see we have added here, right? But it's going to remain there for so long, right? It's going to remain there for so long. So let's even try to put this added under phone book text. So we can just come here, and then let's place this here. Let's see if this is going to work. Let's try to add. Let's add a name. Let's call it, what name should we add? Okay, let's call it HP. Yeah, HP 76. So we have added here, right? So this code implementation is working gradually fine. But now we want to make it in a way that when this appears, it leaves after some seconds. We don't want it to remain there. So what we are going to be using is, we are going to be using the set timeout, right, to control how long it's going to stay. So where do we have that? Okay, here we have this here. So here we say set timeout, and this accepts a function. So what we can do is we call set success message inside of it, and we assign it to an empty string. So let's save this. Now, so what this means is that after when we create a new person, like a new name, right, it displays this for us. Then after then, it sets the success message to an empty string. That means it disappears. That's just the technique. So we want that to happen for a few seconds, right? So we could just come here and declare the number of seconds we want. If we want it to stay for 4 seconds, we simply write 4000. That means 4000 milliseconds. So let's save this and let's refresh. So let's write another name. Let's call it Dell. So I think now I am simply just going to be using names of systems. And if I run out of names of system, then I go to other items as names. Okay, so here we have added here, and it's gone. It showed up and it's left. Okay, so let's add another name. Let's say the name of that person is Orange, right? Orange 1 2 3 4 5, and we click on add. You can see we have added, and it's going to leave very soon. All right, awesome. Now let's not just put this here. Let's make this more descriptive. Added what? What exactly is added? Okay, I think we need to be very careful here. Um, I think we are going to be using this name exist dot name again. Let's be sure. Let's take out this. Let's use the backtick. That's the template string, and then let's do something like this. Um, okay, we are creating a name object. I think we can just copy this, or let's use return person. I think return person should be the best since we are concatenating this return person into this persons. Let's save this and then let's add another name. Let's say we have Apple 798. Let's add it. It says objects. Okay, so this is an object. It's expecting us to target a property in the object. So let's try and say return person dot name. Let's see if that is going to work. We come here, we refresh. Let's say we have lemon 098. Let's add. Okay, so we have lemon here, right? So that's awesome. So now let's make it more descriptive. Let's say lemon is added, or we can just say lemon is successfully added. Yes, so this should work fine now. Okay, so let's give another name. Let's say we have kiwi. Yep, so we say 345. Let's click on add. We have kiwi is successfully added. Awesome. So the implementation has been made very okay, but the next thing we want to consider is the styling, because if you look at the material here, we can see that there was some sort of styling here, right? So we want to see if we can do something like this. So I'm not going to really stress myself. I'm just going to use the styling I used while I was still working on this newly, right? So what we need to do first is this. We need to create a class. Excuse me. We need to create a class for this div here, right? So as to target the notification. So we say class name. Let's call it success message. So let's copy this success message. This is going to be the class name we'll be using to style this success message, which gets displayed underneath the phone book text here. So we save this and then we come here, we create a CSS file here. That means we need to go into the SLC to create a new file. Let's call it index.css. All right, so here we have index.css. Then we paste in the class name, which is this. Now to target this class name, we have to use a dot, right? Because a dot is simply a class selector. If we had used hash here, that means we are targeting we are selecting an ID. But in this case, we are simply selecting a class. So let's style this. Let's give this place a space. It doesn't really matter though. So let's say background color. Uh, let's give it C7, C5, C5. All right, so we put an hash before it. That's very important. All right, so this is the background color we have. It's a shade of gray, I think. So we want to also give our text here the notification. We want to give it some kind of border, right? So we give it some border color. So we say border. Let's just use the border so that we can use almost all of the properties in this border. So we say let's give it a thickness of 5 px, and the border itself should be a solid type, not dashed, not dotted or solid, right? So you can actually choose to edit this part to whatever you want it to be. So let's give it the color we want to use now, using the red, green, blue, and alpha, right? So we want to set the red to be 0. We don't have a red in this color. Then the green, want to give it 128. Also, we want to drop the blue. So we don't have any form of red or blue. I think we have just green. And also the transparency, let's just play with it. Let's say 0.819. All right, so I think you can edit this to whatever you want. Let's now give it a border radius. But the border radius is what is going to make the edges of the rectangle curve a bit, just like this particular part here. This part will get curved a bit. So let's call this, or let's give this 7px. So if eventually this styling does not make too much of sense, we can still come back to edit it, right? So let's give it padding of 12px all round for all sides, and then let's give it a color of green. Now this color, it simply represents the text color. Then let's give the font weight a size, or let's give it a size of bold. We want the font weight to be bold, that's the text to be bold. Let's also size the text also. Let's make it either big or not big, or let's give it larger. Then margin top, let's give it 10px. All right, let's save this. So after doing this is not going to work just like that. Let us try it and see. Let us add a name. Let's call it alpha. All right, so let's now give it a number of 34. That's 34. Let's add it. Alpha is successfully added. All right, so this will not work yet because we need to import this file into the app.jsx. So we can simply just come in and say import. Then we put the quotes and then say dot slash. This means that they are in the same folder, right? Dot slash, and we call the name of the file, that's index.css. So we save this. So we save this. So let's refresh and see what is going to happen. Oh, so something is happening here. We can see that this is remaining here. It's not leaving. What can we do to fix this? It's not meant to remain here. Uh, let's see how we can get this fixed. Set timeout, set name, notification, success message. Okay, I think we should go to the person's form component. Let's go to the person form components. Where is the person's form component? Okay, here I think here, yes. So we need to as well use that success message here. So we can just come on underneath this part here. So let's first of all make the success message a props here too. So let's say success message. So this is now a props, and then we can do something like this. Let's try out something like this. Let's attach the notification component here as well. Something like this, notification slash this. So we say we copy and paste this. Then here we as well paste it also. Let's save this. Okay, so now we are having it twice. So what we can do is, I think we can just come to remove this one. Let's comment on this one. Let's save again. Okay, so I think one hack we can actually do is, okay, this part is complaining success message is declared but never used. Okay, that's because we removed this from here. Okay, let's not remove it from here. Let's undo this. um we need to do something here. What can we do? Okay, I think here, let's just leave this one here. Okay, so we might not use, okay, so here now, okay, so I think this is what we can do. Since we used success messenger as a props, we copy these props, we have to use it in the root component as well, because inside this person's form we have success message as a props, so we have to use it here also. So we can just come here and then do something like this. Let's see if this solves this issue we had here on the state. Okay, yes, that is already solved. Okay, so having solved this, the next thing we want to do is let's refresh this, and then okay, let's try to add a contact. Let's try to add a name. Let's say we have red and we have 1 2 as the number. Let's add. It says red is successfully added. Okay, so we need to use a notification as well. So to handle this, let's go back to where we have this notification. Um, so this part is directly above. Okay, so this is the person's form. So I think what we can do is let's try something. Let's say success message, then we say and something like this. Let's see if this solves. Okay, before that, okay, not like this actually, not like this. Let's try something like this. Let's save this. Let's say success message and all right, that is out. Okay, now let's try to add a new name. Let's call it Danny, and then having a number of 654. Let's add this. It says Danny is successfully added. Now our styling is not working with this notification. There's something definitely wrong. I think here we need to use this notification components. Let's save this again. Oh, this is not working as expected. What exactly is the problem here? What's wrong? Let's try something. Um, let's say this is equal to this. No, that breaks. This breaks. Okay, so this is okay. Yes, sorry. We need to use the success message that we used in the person form when we declared the components here. We have the success message here, right? So we also need to use it down below here. So we need to add it also. So we do something like this. Let's save this and see. All right, now we have this. Let's try to add another name. Let's call it James. 7. Oh, all right. So we have this. James is successfully added and it leaves after 4 seconds. Wow. After so many trials. Wow, wow, wow. So this is how it works actually. When you try to code, you should prepare your mind for a lot of debugging, right? That's especially when you're also learning or you are involved in a very big project, right? You should prepare your mind for a good time of debugging. All right, so thanks for joining on this video. If you found this video helpful, please do like it and subscribe to this channel. All right, so see you in the next video. Bye.